The Road to Sustainable Transport, brought to you by Hansen and Miller. As long as transport remains the largest contributor to greenhouse gas and carbon dioxide emissions, and no immediate action is taken, expect environmental problems to worsen. There are a number of factors that render transport unsustainable, including emissions, congestion, energy consumption, infrastructure cost, economics, car efficiency. For transport to be sustainable, it must meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Fast Cap, the on-demand fast capsule transport system. Forget about all other unrealistic so-called transport solutions like Hyperloop. They are fantasy and not going to happen. Forget about electric-powered or autonomous conventional cars. They will not solve the environmental, congestion, or safety problems inherent in today's transport systems. Do not despair. There is a solution. Future transport consultants Hansen and Miller are able to provide a realistic and workable solution and direction for global transportation. This explanation will provide a solution, one that will put all transport systems on a permanent and sustainable footing. The objective is to make this information available in a coherent manner so all interested parties are able to understand how the system works. This information is desperately needed. There is no shortage of awareness of the problem, but a workable solution is yet to be found. For over a century, people have relied on cars for essential on-demand travel, and they are here to stay for the foreseeable future. With the availability of today's technology to address problems, the inefficiency of cars is unacceptable. Over the last century, all transport systems have been under pressure to meet the growing demand to move larger volumes of commuters, be it by land, sea, or air. This growing demand will continue. We just need to be more committed to solving this problem. In the coming years, the world's population is going to increase. That is a given. Along with this, there will be an increased demand for transport, so we must expect the problems to worsen. To alleviate this, the requirement is to move large numbers of people safely at any given time period without environmental damage, increased land use, or energy consumption. The question now is, how is this to be achieved? The answer lies in the introduction of an automated system, one that is faster, smaller, lighter, safer, energy efficient, and on demand, without causing environmental damage. These are all prerequisites for a future sustainable transport system. The arrival of disruptive technology in transport is unavoidable due to there not being an effective strategy to address transport problems. Therefore, a strategy must be initiated to determine the criteria before embarking on any design program. The following prerequisites are essential for future transport systems. Speed. As demand for transport increases, speed is the only way congestion can be avoided. This is simply time and motion. The faster transport units move, the higher the number of people will move at any given time period. So it must be understood that the transport system must have speed as a primary capability, limited only by what is safely achievable with the technology of the day. If it takes 1 hour to move 100 people, 200 people can be moved in the same amount of time by simply doubling the speed. Speed will be essential in the future to enable the system to move the numbers required. Although today's vehicles are capable of higher speeds, it is not plausible to utilize this capability safely. Therefore, the design of any future transport system must have safety and speed as the primary requirement. understanding that faster individual unit movement yields more capacity. To make this distinction clear, think about the flow rate of a river. The greater the velocity of the water, the greater the flow rate of the river. Smaller and lighter. The initial design should cater for the smallest and lightest weight vehicle designed for one person. Hence, the smallest and lowest cost infrastructure and land use requirement possible. There is a direct correlation between weight, energy consumption, and environmental damage. A reduction of both energy consumption and environmental damage is called for. With a reduction in weight, energy consumption and environmental damage decreases. Safety. An important part of this design is an automated vehicle operational management and control system required to ensure operational safety and efficiency. Every aspect of the complete system requires automated control and unit protection to attain the high capacity volume flow rates required to accommodate ever-increasing demand. The unacceptable high numbers of fatalities resulting from vehicle use need to be addressed. Every year, the lives of approximately 1.3 million people are cut short as a result of a road crash. While going unnoticed, between 20 and 50 million more people suffer non-fatal injuries, with many incurring a disability as a result of their injury. Energy efficiency. Most energy used to power and manufacture vehicles is generated by burning fossil fuels. In this day and age, how can it be acceptable to operate a system where 79% of this energy is wasted? Neither is this acceptable, nor is it sustainable. On demand. Any future primary transport system must operate on demand and accommodate passengers' requirements promptly, efficiently, and when required. The result of on-demand is 100% utilization, minimizing energy consumption and cost to commuters and operators alike. Automated and on-demand enables system utilization for off-peak delivery of goods and services. Environment. The environmental impact of transport is significant because transport is a major user of energy and burns most of the world's petroleum. This creates air pollution, including nitrous oxides and particulates, and is a significant contributor to global warming through emission of carbon dioxide. Within the transport sector, road transport is the largest contributor to global warming. Greenhouse gas emissions from the EU's transport increased in 2018 and 2019 and have not followed the EU's general decreasing emissions trend. National projections compiled by the European Energy Agency suggest that transport emissions in 2030 will remain above 1990 levels, even with measures currently planned in member states. Further action is needed, particularly in road transport, the highest contributor to transport emissions, as well as aviation and shipping, where transport demand is driving emissions upward in both absolute and relative terms. When consideration is given to the generation source of electricity, it is difficult to see the environmental benefit of electric cars. Sources of electricity are coal and peat, 38.3%, natural gas, 23.1%, hydroelectric, 16.6%, nuclear power, 10.4%, oil, 3.7%, biomass and waste, 2.3%, solar, wind, geothermal, tidal, and other, only 5.6%. The idea that renewable energy would be able to provide sufficient power for global transport is clearly fantasy. No one has offered a solution for these challenges.